First thing in the morning, look at these rocks. It's like landmines. Normally I walk and do this, but I'm gonna stop and let you know what's going on today, because I know I'll trip otherwise. Anyway, today I'm doing 18 miles to Pine Grove Furnace State Park. Now, a little under 20 years ago, this was the place of the famed half-gallon challenge. What that is pretty much who can eat a half-gallon of ice cream the fastest in under a certain amount of time. The only thing that lives now is the rumors. People get to this park nowadays and they get disappointed. Sometimes the ice cream place is even closed. When it's open, it's been my experience that they don't sell half gallons because there's no profit in it. No well-meaning hiker is going to buy a half gallon of ice cream, eat it, and then hike out. So they figure, it's too much overhead to even stock half gallons, so they don't do it. And then it's been my experience that they usually just have two or one flavor. So really, it's been a disappointment that I've seen through the years, and people get there and they're like, what is this? So not to ruin it, but they haven't had a true half-gallon challenge in over 17 years. So go to the park, do what you want to do, buy what you want to buy. And I'll tell you one more thing about this place. It's expensive. A hot dog is like $4.50, and it's nothing great about it at all. They don't even toast the bun. I mean, it's just like right out the bag, some lukewarm weenie on the bun. So the book advertises concession, but I'm thinking it's all connected to that one little shop where you could buy ice cream and get some food. But it's anticlimactic, to say the least. All right, let's get started out here. Sometimes early in the morning when it's just you and the birds and the silence, stillness, you feel like the only person on earth. The fields here is just covered with pink blossoms. I don't know if this camera can really pull it up so you can appreciate it, but it smells good and it looks pretty. In the background you hear the popping of the power lines. That always gives me the willies, or the heebie-jeebies as they say. It's just too much power. What's up?
It's pretty expensive. Right, you're only out for a week, and that's what, yeah.
Checkpoint Alpha, bird shelter. Looks like it's on the trail. It's pretty cool. Looks nice too. All right.
pump there. It don't taste all that good, but it is fresh water.
Okay. Pine Grove place.
Yeah.
There is a southbounder at the shelter, and he came from Pines Furnace, where I'm going right now, and he was saying how what I was telling you, how the store is just so expensive. He said they have a half-gallon ice cream, but they're $9. So if you want to pay $10 for some ice cream, because you know it's tax on that. And then he said he got like a biscuit, some bacon, and some coffee, and it cost $11. So the state parks, I mean, it's like I said, it's like a jewelry store. The markup is like 750%. There's just no point in even trying to even, don't waste your money kind of thing, which is disappointing. But, state park, that's their hustle. When I get there, I'll give you some for instances. He did say this though. He said inside the museum there's a hiker's box that the church keeps stock. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the museum, go in a hiker's box and find some choice bits and just sit right there in place and eat. I mean, I don't really need more food. There's no point in putting more weight on my back. But there's nothing to say I can't whip out my stove, go through the hiker's box, and cook a nice meal right there and eat in place, which is one of the alternatives that I gave you when you come across food. You can take it, or you can eat in place, sort of thing. All right, out here. Apparently this is the official halfway point for this year. There you go. This is Checkpoint Bravo, second shelter before I hit Pine Furnace. Looks like it has a pavilion. That's obviously the shelter. It's 12 o'clock out here. If you do the math, you'll see that this is the old sign for the halfway point, seeing as how the numbers just don't add up. But this is kind of nice to look at, isn't it? Right. It's supposed to rain today at 3 o'clock. I got 1:30 right now. I'm about to pull into the park. So I guess one could say that I just made it. Pine Grove Furnace. Yeah. This is Iron Master's mansion. It also doubles as a hostel for hikers. It's a lot like Bear's Den. I was told that the door is open, but the caretaker does not open up everything and start registering people until after 5 o'clock or 5 o'clock. I'm going to test that theory to see if this door is open out here. Campground is straight down. Look at this massive hiker's box on the front porch. It's huge. There's probably nothing in there, but there you go. See if it's open. Nope. and no. So basically, I guess you could say the guy gave us misinformation. He said that the hostel itself is open, but that the caretaker does not come down and open up the house until 5 o'clock. It says right here, please ring bell for innkeepers if it is after 5. And the doors locked. So there you go. Let me see out here. So even though you talk to hikers as far as southbounders, you still got to take their information with a grain of salt. Sometimes they just want to tell you what you want to hear. I'm not tripping. I want to find the museum and take a look at this hiker's box that they have in the museum that he spoke of. But first I'm going to go through this one out here. By the way, the time is 1:30. This is the Appalachian Trail Museum, where according to the southbound hiker, there's supposed to be a hiker's box in there, some for hikers. So his information was already flawed about the hostel. Let's see what this says. Yeah, the museum had a hiker's box. I got 3 packs of noodles. I'm just gonna eat all that here. Somebody recognized me in there from 2012, so I kind of feel at home. He said they have Wi-Fi, so I'm gonna see if I can upload a couple videos while I'm here. I'm in no hurry out here. After leaving the museum, I went down to the head administrative office that oversees the park, and just started asking questions. You should be advised that the general store, for all their high prices, don't accept credit cards, and it doesn't make sense to me. So I wanted to know if the hostel accepts credit cards before I stick around till 5 o'clock. So she made some phone calls, and the hostel does take credit cards. The hostel also has Wi-Fi, and they gave me the password so I can sit on the front porch of the hostel itself and take care of any kind of business that I want to. It's early. It's 2:05. I still haven't decided what I want to do, but right now I'm going to drink some water, and I'm going to cook the food that I got out of the hiker's box. Just like I said before, you can pack it out or you can chill in place and eat. So I think I'm going to do option 2. And now I'm going to get something to drink, some water out here. So I go into the general store to at least get some water. They won't do it. They say it's against the health department. You got to buy water. So I try to compromise. Can I get some ice? We don't serve anything with ice. You got to buy a bag of ice. Yeah. Oh yeah, got it. Got it. So it's like all they want is your cash, period. And everything is overpriced. And when you look at the people there, it's just like, I don't know, kids maybe still in high school. So it's just that even if you try to get food, you know that it's not a chef back there. It's just whatever they can put together. Anyway, I'm back at the hostel. I'm going to look for a place to plug in. I got the password to the internet, and I'm going to chill and eat some food and try to get some water right out here. I found a place to plug in. If it works, we're in business. I can chill here and take care of business out here. I got 10 till 4. I've been sitting here for the last 2 hours, eating, trying to upload some videos. The internet's just not strong enough. Now, granted, I'm outside, but the thing is, if I'm going to pay $25, I want to make sure I can actually take care of some business. I got 5 videos to upload. And since Boiling Springs is just down the street, I don't know if it's worth the investment for me to stay here only to be frustrated or stand up all night trying to load videos that would take 9 minutes under normal circumstances. So where I'm sitting right now, I'm probably going to end up hiking out. I was able to take care of some video editing. I mean, I made use of this time as much as I could. I ate, I drank some water, got some video editing, charged my stuff. I think I'm just going to head out until to the next shelter and try this again at Boiling Springs. As far as my recommendation on a general store, it's like I told you before, the place is expensive. You know, like those little half pints that you get in like Asian restaurants are kid size, $2.50. There's nothing in that store that's under that amount of money. But it's not the money as far as it's just not worth it. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I would take that money and throw it away before I give it to them because it makes me feel like an idiot. So, out here. All right, it's 4:15. I'm leaving. right now I'm at 18 miles today. If I go to the next campsite, which is 7 miles from here, that'll be a 25-mile day. I ate lunch. I'm hydrated. I'm okay. I'll just go. So this is where I'm going right here. James Fry Shelter, 7.6 miles out here. Back side of the park as I'm leaving. As you can see, they turned the lake into a swimming pool. Pretty tame trail hiking out the park. It's 7 miles, but it should feel like 4.5 when you're done. As you can see, we went from gravy to back in the woods with a slight in grade. For the record, it's not my intention to be a killjoy. And playing back the last entries that I made on the camera, maybe it could have sounded like I was whining about the money, but you know that I'm not cheap. I mean, you've been following me through the whole thing. You know how I am. I am a frugal person, and if anything, it just ticks me off. That's all. So there's just a little bit of heat in what I was saying. So yeah, it sounds like I have animosity. I didn't buy anything at that place. Like I said, you can't give me water, I will not give you a dime of my money. You know, but like I said, for the most part, hikers are buying their ice cream. If they want to spend $5 for a pint or $20 for a pint, it don't matter. Hike your own hike. They were having fun, and maybe you will too. I'm just not that desperate, is all. By the way, as you hike out the park and past the lake that I showed you, there's another concession stand, and that's just like anything you'd find at a beach. There was a line, and people were going in. Maybe that stand took credit cards. I don't know. I didn't stop and ask, but there is another alternative other than that little place that I was dumping on right next to the hostel. I try to be positive, and if I sound negative, know that that's just what's in the moment. I'm just calling it as I see it, and I'm trying to remain impartial. So, yeah, don't let me sway you away on things. All I can do is just give you my fair and balanced report, right? Fox News, right? All right, out here. After that little incline, it's kind of tame now. I just have to balance between the rocks. It's 5 o'clock, so I'm pushing it, so I'm not stuck trying to cook dinner at 8 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get there early out here. As you can see, we're back in the woods proper, bushwhacking. By the way, I didn't mention anything about a half-gallon challenge while I was in the park because, as I said this morning, it no longer exists. The hikers that came in and bought ice cream sat there in the corner, ate their ice cream, and hiked out. There was no hoopla. There was nothing, as I've always known it to be for the last 15, 17 years. So, like I said, I mean, if you're looking for a contest, keep looking. If you want to eat a half-gallon ice cream and you want to pay the money, just sit down and eat like everybody else, I suppose, out here. Looks like I got caught in the rain. Onward ho. It's 7 o'clock. I did not wake up with the intent to do 25 miles today, but that's what it ended up being. This is James Fry Shelter, and it is huge. You got 2 bunk beds in here, but you can't see it because I can't get the light without backing in the rain. There's a bunk bed there, and there's one right there you can barely see. Anyway, it's a huge shelter. There's no one here. I got it all to myself. Yeah, out here. This shelter is actually quite impressive. I feel honored to have the whole thing to myself, actually. Out here.